Yo, welcome to another Lakers postgame reaction show. I'm Yovan Buha, Lakers beat writer for The Athletic. And if you can't tell, I did not make the trip up to Salt Lake City. I stayed here in LA, watched the game from home. And what a game it was for the Lakers. They beat the Jazz 138 to 122 without LeBron James. 39 points and 15 rebounds for Anthony Davis. A career high 36 points for Rui Hachimura, career 17 assists for D'Angelo Russell. And this was a wild game. To me, this was a show me something game from the Lakers, where you're going to the All-Star break. It's easy to have a level of distraction with that game. Guys are thinking about their All-Star weekend plans. Some guys are gonna be going to beach resorts and flying home and spending time with their families, or just doing whatever they're gonna do during the All-Star break. And it's easy to just get caught up in that, looking ahead to tomorrow and not what's in front of you. And the Lakers had a bit of a built-in excuse. It was the second night of a back-to-back. They were going to Utah, which is one of the toughest places to play, as I spoke about last night on the show. And no LeBron James. And as we've seen with this team, they are 3-3 without. They were 3-3 rather without LeBron entering this game. They're now 4-3 without him this season. But you factor in second night of a back-to-back, Salt Lake City. One of the best home teams in the NBA, one of the best home teams in the West. No LeBron. That was a recipe for the Lakers to lose this game, and they entered the game as 5.5-point favorites. I'm not a gambler, but I do tend to look at the line just to see kind of what Vegas thinks of the two teams entering the matchup. And clearly the Jazz were favored, and the Lakers got off to a good start and felt like they were in control of the game. But that second quarter run from the Jazz, they scored 41 points and just shredded the Lakers' second unit defense. We're living in the paint. We're living at the rim. We're living in transition. And the Lakers went small to close the second quarter, went with Torian at the 4 with the 3-guard lineup there of Spencer Dinwiddie, Austin Reeves, and D'Angelo Russell. And this was this was Lakers Twitter, Lakers Twitter's biggest fear. And we saw that lineup play about 10 seconds against the Pistons, and Jackson Hayes swiftly subbed in for Austin Reeves. But in this case, that lineup played about, I want to say 2.5 minutes, 2:40, something like that. And they actually treaded water technically. But Utah was already on a run. Utah was already had an advantage, and they kept things close going into halftime. And even to start the third quarter, Utah was right there until about, I want to say the 3-4 minute mark, where AD just took over. He made several big plays, had that dunk in transition, had another jumper. Spencer Dinwiddie had a big reverse layup, and I think you saw some of his offensive prowess and dynamism, where he was doing more off the dribble and more finishing at the rim, and hitting pull-up shots. And I thought he played really well. But the story of the game, AD, of course, 39 points, although I'm not sure if it's 37, 39. The box score, I don't know how many of you were checking the box score in this one, but the box score stopped working halfway through the third quarter. So it was really confusing, where they kept updating the game score, but then when you actually looked at the box score stats, they did not correlate. I think it got stuck at 82, 81 for a while. So the box score numbers were lagging for a bit. I saw different things. I saw 39. I saw 37. I tweeted out 39. I'm still not quite sure, but we'll go with 39 for now. The story of the game was Rui Hachimura. And we've seen when LeBron is out, Rui steps up and career high 36 points, career high 6 threes. And you could see that Utah's game plan, similar to a game plan we've seen from the Lakers in several losses this season, was to cheat off of Rui. And, given his career 3-point percentage, he is a guy that teams are comfortable cheating off of. and he made them pay tonight. And it was similar. It was kind of a karmic retribution for the Lakers, similarly to performances from Dante Exum and Marcus Smart, and pick your random role player that has burned the Lakers this season. This was that version for LA against Utah, where Rui Hachimura, I mean, now I will say Utah did start to adjust and close out to him harder and not leave him as open. But still, when you look at a couple of those final makes that he had plenty of room to get a shot off. Rui doesn't have the quickest shot, so he does need space and time to load up and get a good look. But Rui played a great game, and to me, this just confirmed that the Lakers should have been playing him more earlier in the season. They should have tried this starting lineup of Anthony Davis, LeBron James, Rui Hachimura, Austin Reeves, and D'Angelo Russell earlier in the season. They are 5-0 with that group, and it hasn't been the stiffest competition necessarily, but that did include the win over the Knicks. It did include the win over the Pelicans. And I think right now the Lakers are finding an offensive groove. Have been a top 10 offense for about 6 weeks now, and been a bottom 10 defense along the same time. And I think you did see tonight, like there are some issues defensively. And I look at Taurean Prince. He had a particularly rough first half, and just to me continues to be a guy who got to start tonight because LeBron was out, but is just overtaxed playing more than 25 minutes a night and being sometimes the primary wing stopper. I just think that's too large of a role for him. And the Lakers are better suited when, one, he's playing down a position. Usually when he's playing shooting guard, those lineups tend to look better, not when he's playing power forward, as he was for brief moments tonight. But also, he did have some good possessions defensively against Lauri Markkanen. So I don't want to say, he was a complete sieve tonight necessarily, but it's too big of an ask defensively on him, and just for his skill set. And I think that's where a lot of the frustration from fans has come toward Taurean for most of the season. But the Lakers are now 30-26. This is the first time they've been 4 games above 500 since mid-December. They enter the All-Star break with a lot of momentum, still 9th in the West, but they've won 6 of 7, 8 of 11. And since they lost 4 games to start to end 2023, begin 2024, they've gone 13-7. So now we have a sustained stretch of them playing much better, basically since 2024 started. Got a couple losses out of the way with Miami and Memphis, but since then they've been locked in. They've been a much better team, and even within that, they've had a pretty tough schedule. They had that 6-game road trip. They've played plenty of tough West teams, the Clippers a couple times, the Thunder, the Mavericks, the Nuggets, the Pelicans. It hasn't been a cakewalk necessarily. The Suns in there also. On top of that, they've had a bunch of injuries. I mean, right now, basically, their 4 best non-AD perimeter defenders are all out in Jared Vanderbilt, Cam Reddish, Max Christie, and Gabe Vincent. So, they're doing a lot of this despite being very shorthanded at a particular skill set, which is their perimeter defense, their defensive versatility, and just really that point of attack defense, guys who can keep a ball handler, a scorer in front of them. So the fact that they've adapted and found different ways to win. I think leaning into the Austin D'Lo backcourt, yes, there are obvious defensive concerns, but those two guys really found a good groove with each other. I thought D'Lo tonight didn't have it going offensively necessarily in the way that we've seen from him, but then he dishes 17 assists and makes up for it in a different way. Austin carried a bit more of the load offensively, but he was a distant third option behind AD and Rui. So the Lakers, I think, are starting to show signs of a team that you're not going to want to play in round 1. If I'm a home court advantage team, that's not a team I want to see as a 7 or 8 seed. And I talked about it last night after the Detroit game of them having that goal of being a number 6 seed, or at least getting to number 7. And I think that's in play. I think with the way that they're playing, they're going to have a lot of opportunities to play Western Conference teams. And if they can win 65% of those games, 70% of those games, and continue to play the level of basketball that we've seen them play for the last few weeks now, there's no reason why they can't potentially push for that 6 seed or at least get into the 7 seed or 8 at a minimum, and you're now at least preserving a couple of opportunities to save your season. And if you end up losing that first play-in matchup, but right now you have to be nothing but encouraged by the way the Lakers have played recently. Again, LeBron and AD continue to be great. D'Angelo Russell has played his best basketball now for going on 5 weeks or so. Austin Reeves has, I think, really since the early season slow start that month, like he's been really, really good. And he's had some lows and some shooting slumps, particularly from 3 in January, but he's bounced back, and I think he's playing really well. Rui has stepped into the starting role and, continues to play well when LeBron's off the floor, but I think is taken on the challenge defensively. And he's still, there's only so much he can do. He really is like a 4.5. And putting him on wings isn't necessarily something that you can rely on, I think, long term. But until the Lakers find out Jared Vanderbilt's future, until they get Cam Reddish, Max Christie back, like I think you are going to have to use Rui in that wing stopper role at times. You're going to have to rely on LeBron in that role at times, and you're just going to have to figure it out. But again, I think Spencer Dinwiddie has played well. I could go on and on, but the Lakers are rounding into form. They just need to get healthy, and I think the break comes at a great time where all 4 of their injured players are going to be reevaluated after the break. I think there's less certainty with Gabe and with Vando coming back and making an impact, but Max and Cam should be back shortly after the break, if not immediately. And those are 2 welcomed additions as perimeter defenders who can also spot up, make threes, get out in transition, and just solidify lineups with some more length and athleticism and energy. So things are trending up for the Lakers. It's been a weird season. I felt like their ceiling has been high. Their floor has been low. They've looked like a team that could lose in the play-in tournament. They've looked like a team that could make the semifinals or conference finals. And right now things are trending toward, the ceiling. And we'll see how they come out of the All-Star break. We'll see ultimately how the health shakes out. I think that's really the most important thing moving forward. But for now, it's hard not to be optimistic about this group and feel like they've found something here with that starting group that's just been dominant, with 5 guys who can get 15 to 20 points really easily and just kind of walk into that. And the ball movement's been better. The pace has been better. The shooting's been better. So all signs point toward this team getting closer to actualizing their potential. Of course, the key is going to be sustaining this and remaining healthy, and getting healthy first and then remaining healthy, and LeBron and AD remaining healthy. But if that can happen, this is going to be one of the scariest teams, if not the scariest, among the lower seeds in the playoff picture. So if you enjoyed this video, I'm going to continue doing this after each Lakers game, giving you my reactions. I'm likely going to do a live stream over the All-Star break. I wanted to do one tonight, but I had to wait 24 hours to get approved, so be on the lookout for that. I'll likely be tweeting it out and posting it on my Instagram as well. But again, if you enjoyed this, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn on that notification button so you know when my videos are dropping. Just dropped a vlog from the Pistons game. Wasn't at the Jazz game, so don't have a vlog for that. But stay tuned for more. I'm going to be posting a lot more on YouTube. Trying to remain active, trying to post a video every single day. So appreciate you guys for rocking with me, and talk to you soon.